Yeah, that thumbnail is not clickbait. That is a real chart for a real thing that makes everything in the world that you use, and it's pretty freaking scary. So what is it and why should you care? Well, that is the price of tungsten carbide that is going up in that chart right there. Let me just break this down for you. I've been running CNC machines since I was 12 years old, and ever since I was 12 years old, I've been telling people, hey, there's these really cool machines out there that make everything you use and need every single day. And the response I've generally gotten my whole life is, I don't care, get that away from me. As long as my phone works, I don't care what made it. Well, I guess probably now you should start caring, because the price of literally everything is about to go up because of this. In today's video, I'm gonna kind of show you as a shop how to mitigate that. But if you're not a shop and you somehow wound up on this video, let me break it down for you. Every single thing you touch comes from a CNC machine. And you might be thinking, well, what about food? Well, foods are made from harvesters, right? What do you think made the harvester? CNC machines, sometimes manual equipment, whatever, but all of these things around you, everything you're looking at in your room right now you're sitting in, or in your car if you're driving, maybe pay attention to the road, all of those parts are made and cut from tungsten carbide. We use this stuff for everything. I mean, there's so many different types of it, so many different grades, so many different inserts. All of that is about to go up 800%. And if you're buying tools right now, you might not know this, but all these tooling companies are doing their best to hold on as long as they can to the carbide they made last year and be the last person to have to increase their prices. So it doesn't matter where you're buying your tools, they're all about to go through the roof. So what can you do about that? Well, that's exactly what I want to show you in today's video, because I have a few solutions for how you could save a lot of money with carbide. And I'm gonna go from the order that I think is the most likely you'll use to the least likely you'll use, because, well, retention rates on YouTube, it is just kind of how this works. So let's get into the first one. This is the most likely I think you'll use. All right, first one that I would say is the most likely you're gonna use is this guy right here. So I'm in front of a Swiss machine, and one thing we do on Swiss machines a lot of the time is milling hexagons. Seriously, there are so many parts that require hexagons, it's insane. And what I see a lot of people do is they take a solid carbide end mill, put it in their Swiss machine, and they mill their little hexagons. Well, when you're doing that, all you're using is just the tip. And then you're gonna burn that up and you're gonna throw this whole thing away for no reason. Well, they do make indexable tools that can go into a Swiss machine and bigger. This is just like a crazy small one. And instead of replacing this whole thing of carbide, you have these tiny little inserts on the end of your tool here. Now, you might be wondering, what is the cost? When will I start saving money? Well, because I can't say exact numbers on here because the cost of carbide is rising. If I say a number on here, then people are gonna go up to ISCAR and say, well, Donnie said that it costs this much. So we did the math last night, and this is when you actually start saving money. If you buy this tool with a steel shank and you use 2 boxes of inserts, from that point on, every time you flip an edge, you will be spending 1/3 as much money as a carbide end mill. So your milling cost will go down by 66% if you buy this tool and you use 2 boxes. Now, if you buy this tool and you get a carbide shank, guess what? Carbide's going up. So that means the amount of inserts you're gonna have to use go up before it makes sense. That will be 3 boxes of inserts. That might sound like a lot, but machines run every day. So it doesn't really matter what you're doing with this, even if you're milling hexagons or milling out a pocket with this little guy. If you're just using the bottom of an end mill, eventually these are going to start being a lot cheaper than this end mill. It's honestly pretty self-explanatory, but hey, here I am making a YouTube video about it. Oh, and a quick rant about this tool, check this out. All right, I did not know that carbide is magnetic. Here, let me try to hold this in front of the camera here. Come on, come on. Oh, I grabbed the wrong wrench. Even though I've been working on carbide tools for 25 years, so watch, I'll break this loose. Did you know that carbide is magnetic? Look at this. So I can just take this back of this wrench is magnetic, right? I can just pull the insert out. Oh, is that the right one? Yeah. Look at that. Did you know that? One last thing I'm gonna say about this tool, but this also applies to like 3 other things I'm gonna go over in this video. When you change these heads out and change your insert, you don't have to touch anything off when you get back to work. Or if you take out an end mill, put it in your ER collet, you don't know where that's gonna be, you're gonna have to touch it off. So not only is this gonna save you money on carbide eventually, but also it doesn't require any setup every time you make a tool change. And that's kind of a different topic. Maybe I'll do a different video on that. But seriously, quick change tooling saves you so much headache. Forget the cost of carbide, But when you take this little head out right here and you swap out the inserts, you screw it back in, you press start. That's it. That's the extent of the changeover. It is what it is, man. Quick change is always easier. On to the next one. I have a bunch of notes that I've taken on this next one, right? So the next one I'd recommend 100% is using indexable drills like this. Now, we did the math on this one as well, and we found that once you change 2 of these heads on a 1/2-inch drill, you will start seeing your cost savings, which on this one we found, yeah, it's like 50% as expensive. So you will be spending half as much on Carbide if you get one of these and you're drilling holes. And we drill a lot of holes on CNC machines, so I can't see a lot of people ignoring this one. Again, you change 2 heads and you are spending half as much as you would on this solid Carbide drill. That's actually crazy. Also, these are, again, quick change drills, SumoCHAM. They're actually kind of amazing. I've used them for years. They work well, way better than Carbide. Anyways, on to the next one, because this one, honestly, might shock you. I know this has nothing to do with Carbide, but Tim Hortons Turkey Bacon Club sandwich is $6.67. So like, if you switch your lunch to these, you could probably actually save up enough money to buy a free end mill. They're super good. I'm gonna eat my lunch now. On to the next thing. So this next one is where I would say we start getting from the things everybody does and start getting into the things that might be specific for the shop you're in. Okay, so this right here is the D6NMG. Now, what the heck is that? It is this guy here, okay? Now, this has 6 edges on it, and what it is trying to replace is the DCMT. This only has 2 edges on it, and it is a little bit more Carbide, but if you do the math, after you pay off your holder, which will take about 1 box of inserts, this will cost you 56% as much per edge. Now, this isn't an end-all be-all. I don't want to just say, hey, everybody throw your DCMTs away because the D6NMG is going to replace it. It's not that simple. DCMTs are very commonly used on Swiss machines, and the depth of cut we take is way beyond the recommended depth of cut on the box. It is just how they are used. It is what it is. So on parts like the one I'm doing on this machine right here, where I needed to do an undercut and it was less than 2.5 millimeters deep, I was able to replace that tool with the D6NMG, and now my cost savings after I use a box of inserts will be 56% every single edge, which is actually kind of dramatic. Honestly, if this is something that fits your requirements, I 100% recommend it. And it just looks cool. Looks like a ninja star. Okay, so the last one I want to talk about is Ceramet. Now, again, Ceramet is one of those niche things where you pretty much have to be cutting steel or stainless steel. I'm currently testing it out on my Swiss machine on titanium. So far, it's working very well. It'll be a short coming out soon. But Ceramet is basically a ceramic-based, you know, ceramic-looking insert, right? It weighs like nothing. It's super weird. But where this can start saving you money, because the inserts are honestly like 20 cents less than Carbide. It's not crazy yet. Carbide is going up, remember? But this can machine a lot faster on steel, especially for finish passes. Now, I was told Ceramet is like really meant for finishing. Am I in focus? However, I don't like rules. So recently I've been testing out their CNMX Ceramet insert on this lathe here, and it's been performing really well. So I do think it can handle mild roughing applications as well. It's not good on interrupted cuts, so you have to watch out for that. But as the price of Carbide keeps going up, Ceramet might really become a lot more useful than you realize. In the background here, I'm actually running a durability test with Ceramet against titanium. I am spending my own money on a 3-foot segment of titanium, and I'm just gonna do a rough grooving test down and down and down to see if Ceramet can survive that. So far, it has been handling it tremendously well. I know you're not supposed to use Ceramet on titanium. Again, I hate rules, and that will be in a future video for you guys to see. Ceramet, definitely consider it. It's about to be a lot more necessary. And that's it. I think that's everything. Well, those are 3 things plus Ceramet that I think could drastically save you money at your shop over time. I will admit that there's no way to get around doing Carbide end mills for certain applications. I get that. And there's no way you're going to completely be able to dodge this cost of rising Carbide. It's going to affect your shop. So you are going to have to start changing the way you do things. There's just no getting around it. I know people hate that, but it is what it is. Now, I also want to say there are a lot more things you can do. ISCAR is going kind of crazy with it. They have a program on their website called their Max Out program, where if you go to their website, this little thingy will pop up and you can click on it and it will show you everything they're going to do to try to help you mitigate this rising cost of carbide. It is what it is, and we kind of have to figure out a way to get through this because, you know, there are two types of shops out there. There are shops that this probably won't matter to as much, and there are shops out there that this might put out of business. And if you put enough small businesses out of business, then you're going to have a huge effect. These shops cost a lot of money to start up. These machines are hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars. And if 400 small shops go out of business, you can bet that the cost of everything around you is going to start to go up, even more than inflation. Like, this is way worse than just the price of gas. This is everything you touch. So you need to do everything you can to mitigate this cost. I think I've said everything I wanted to say in this video. And yeah, I'm sorry to all the shops out there that this is going to really impact. It's not fun. You know, being in manufacturing, I think, is one of the most difficult industries to be in, especially as a shop owner. If you've never been on that side of this industry, you have no idea how it is so insanely difficult to run a machine shop. It really is. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Also hit that like button if you haven't already. These videos are a lot of work to make, and yeah, every little bit helps. I hope you have a good day.